The ocean spray hit Zara's face the exact moment Trevor kissed her for the first time, and she knew right then that leaving would destroy them both. But that was 15 years ago, back when the summer seemed endless and promises felt permanent. Back when she was 22 and stupid enough to believe she could have everything she wanted without consequences. Zara Abbott stared at the invitation in her hand, her fingers trembling slightly. The fundraiser gala was being held at the Meridian Hotel, one of the most exclusive venues in Boston. Her best friend, Maya, had convinced her to attend, insisting that Zara needed to get out more, needed to stop hiding behind her work at the nonprofit. The irony was not lost on her that the event was hosted by Forge Industries, a massive global manufacturing company that had revolutionized sustainable production methods over the past decade. She did not know who owned Forge Industries. She had been too busy surviving to pay attention to business news, too focused on raising her daughter alone to care about billionaire success stories. "Mom, are you going to wear the blue dress?" Lily asked from the doorway, her 13-year-old face bright with excitement. "Maya showed me pictures. It's so pretty." Zara forced a smile, tucking a strand of her dark hair behind her ear. "I have not decided if I am even going, sweetheart. You should go. You never do anything fun." Lily walked into the bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed, her long legs folding beneath her. She had Zara's dark hair, but her eyes were lighter, almost hazel in certain lights. People always said Lily looked just like her mother, and Zara was grateful for that small mercy. "I do plenty of fun things," Zara protested weakly. "Work is not fun. Reading grant proposals is not fun. Going to this fancy party where there will be actual food and music and people, that is fun." Zara laughed despite herself. "When did you become so wise?" "I have always been wise." "You just do not listen." Lily grinned, that same mischievous smile that always made Zara's heart clench with a complicated mix of love and old pain. 2 days later, Zara found herself standing in the grand ballroom of the Meridian Hotel, feeling completely out of place despite the elegant navy dress that Maya had helped her pick out. The room glittered with crystal chandeliers and was filled with Boston's elite, all gathered to support environmental initiatives. It was the kind of event Zara normally would have appreciated from a professional distance, writing grants to organizations that actually did the work rather than attending parties to celebrate it. "Stop looking like you want to run," Maya whispered, linking her arm through Zara's. Maya worked in marketing for a tech firm and thrived in these environments, her red hair styled perfectly, her confidence infectious. "We are here to have a good time, and maybe, just maybe, you will meet someone interesting." "I am not looking to meet anyone." "You have been saying that for 13 years. At some point you have to move on." Zara stiffened. Maya was one of the few people who knew about Trevor, though even she did not know the whole story. No one did. The evening progressed with small talk and champagne, silent auctions and speeches about sustainability. Zara found herself genuinely interested in some of the initiatives being discussed, mentally taking notes about potential partnerships for her own organization. She worked for a nonprofit that helped single mothers get back on their feet, providing job training and childcare support. It was meaningful work, work that mattered to her on a deeply personal level. She was examining a display about ocean cleanup technology when she felt it. That strange sensation of being watched, the prickling awareness that lifted the hair on the back of her neck. Zara turned slowly, scanning the crowd, but saw only clusters of well-dressed strangers engaged in animated conversation. "Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please." A woman's voice rang out from the small stage at the front of the ballroom. She was polished and professional, clearly someone important in the organization. I want to thank you all for coming tonight and for your generous support. But most importantly, I want to introduce you to the man who made all of this possible. Forge Industries has committed over $200 million to environmental causes this year alone, and it is all thanks to his vision and dedication. Please welcome Trevor Finch. The applause was thunderous. Zara's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble floor. Trevor Finch stepped onto the stage and time collapsed into itself. He was older, of course. The boy she had known at 23 had become a man at 38, his shoulders broader, his jaw more defined. He wore a perfectly tailored charcoal suit that probably cost more than her monthly rent. His dark hair was shorter now, styled with casual precision, and there was a confidence in the way he moved that spoke of power and success. But his eyes, those deep brown eyes that had once looked at her like she was his entire world, were exactly the same. Zara could not breathe, could not think, could not do anything except stare at the man who had consumed her entire heart one perfect summer. The man she had left without explanation. The man she had never stopped thinking about even as years turned into decades. "Thank you all for being here," Trevor said, his voice deeper than she remembered but still fundamentally him. "Environmental sustainability is not just good business. It is our responsibility." Forge Industries was built on the principle that manufacturing and environmental stewardship can coexist, and tonight is proof that when we work together, we can make real change. He was articulate and commanding, every inch the successful CEO. Zara felt dizzy. She needed to leave, needed to get out before he saw her, before everything came crashing down. "Are you okay?" Maya grabbed her arm, steadying her. "Zara, you are white as a sheet. What is wrong?" "I need to go," Zara managed, her voice barely a whisper, but it was too late. Trevor's gaze swept across the ballroom as he continued his speech, and then it landed on her. He stopped mid-sentence, his expression freezing. The pause lasted only a heartbeat, maybe two, but Zara felt it stretch into eternity. She saw the recognition flash across his face, followed by something that looked like shock, then anger, then something she could not quite read. He recovered smoothly, finishing his speech with practiced ease, but Zara knew. He had seen her. And everything she had run from 15 years ago was about to catch up. She made it to the lobby before her legs gave out, sinking onto a velvet bench near the coat check. Maya followed, confused and worried. "Zara, talk to me. What just happened?" "That man, Trevor Finch, I knew him." The words felt inadequate, absurd. "A long time ago." Knew him how? Before Zara could answer, she heard footsteps. Confident, determined footsteps that she would have recognized anywhere. She looked up to find Trevor standing in front of her, his expression carefully controlled but his eyes blazing with emotion. "Zara Abbott." He said her name like a challenge, like an accusation, like a prayer. "It has been a long time." Maya looked between them, her eyes wide, and quietly excused herself. Zara wanted to call her back, wanted a buffer between herself and this moment, but her voice would not work. 15 years, Trevor continued, his voice low and tight. 15 years and not a single word, no explanation. No goodbye, nothing. "Trevor, do you know what it was like?" He stepped closer, and Zara could see the barely restrained anger in the tension of his jaw. "Waking up one morning and you were just gone. Your apartment cleared out, your phone disconnected, every mutual friend suddenly unable to tell me anything. I searched for you, Zara, for months. I thought something had happened to you. I thought you were dead." Guilt crashed over her in waves. "I am sorry. You are sorry." He laughed, the sound bitter. "That is it. 15 years and you are sorry, Zara stood, forcing herself to meet his eyes even though every instinct screamed at her to run. Again. What do you want me to say? I want you to tell me why. I want you to explain how you could spend an entire summer with me, tell me you loved me, make plans for our future, and then disappear like none of it mattered. It all mattered, she whispered, her eyes burning. Every moment mattered. Then why? The question hung between them, heavy with years of pain and confusion. Zara opened her mouth, but the words stuck in her throat. How could she explain? How could she make him understand the impossible choice she had faced? I cannot do this here, she finally said. Not like this. Trevor studied her for a long moment, and she could see him wrestling with his emotions, the successful businessman trying to regain control. When he spoke again, his voice was calmer but no less intense. Coffee. Tomorrow morning. There is a place called Harborside Brew near the waterfront. 10 o'clock. It was not a request. Zara knew she could refuse, could disappear again, but she owed him this. She owed him so much more than this. Okay. He nodded once sharply and then walked away without another word. Zara watched him go, her whole body shaking, and wondered how everything had gotten so complicated. That night, she barely slept. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, remembering that summer 15 years ago with painful clarity. She had been working at a beach resort in Cape Cod, a temporary job to make money before starting graduate school in the fall. Trevor had been there with a friend, taking a break after finishing his engineering degree. They had met at a bonfire on the beach, and the attraction had been immediate and overwhelming. It was supposed to be a summer fling, something fun and temporary, a beautiful memory to carry into their separate futures. But it had become so much more. They spent every possible moment together. Swimming in the ocean at dawn, exploring tide pools, having long conversations about their dreams and fears. Trevor wanted to start his own company, something that would make a difference. Zara wanted to help people, to work in social services, to matter. They fell in love the way young people do, completely and recklessly. By August, they were making plans. Trevor would come to Boston for graduate school too. They would get an apartment together. They would build a life. And then Zara had discovered she was pregnant. She had not known what to do. Her own father had abandoned her mother when Zara was 5, leaving them struggling and poor. She had watched her mother work 3 jobs, had seen the resentment build over years of sacrifice. Zara had been a burden, an obligation, the reason her mother could never pursue her own dreams. She had promised herself she would never do that to someone else, would never trap a person with responsibility they did not choose. Trevor had his whole life ahead of him. He was 23, brilliant, ambitious. A baby would ruin everything he wanted to accomplish. So Zara had made the choice for both of them. She had packed her things, moved back to her hometown in Ohio, and cut all contact. She had her daughter, worked terrible jobs to support them, eventually made her way back to Boston for school when Lily was old enough for daycare. She built a life, one careful step at a time, and she never told Trevor that he had a daughter. Now, lying in the darkness, Zara faced the truth she had been avoiding for 13 years. She had been wrong. Not about having Lily, her daughter, was the best thing that had ever happened to her. But about denying Trevor the choice, about deciding for him what he could handle. She had been young and scared and traumatized by her own childhood, but that did not make it right. "Mom." Lily appeared in her doorway, backlit by the hallway light. "Are you okay? I heard you get up." "I am fine, honey, just could not sleep." Lily walked into the room and climbed into bed beside her, something she had not done in years. The party was bad. No, actually, it was complicated. Zara wrapped her arm around her daughter, breathing in the familiar scent of her strawberry shampoo. I saw someone I used to know, someone I have not seen in a very long time. A good someone or a bad someone, a good someone. A very good someone who I hurt badly. Lily was quiet for a moment. Can you fix it? I do not know. I am going to try. Good. You always tell me that trying is what matters. Zara smiled despite everything, pulling her daughter closer. When did you get so smart? I keep telling you. I have always been smart. The next morning, Zara arrived at Harborside Brew 15 minutes early, her stomach in knots. She ordered a coffee she knew she would not drink and chose a table by the window overlooking the water. The March morning was gray and cold, the harbor choppy with whitecaps, appropriate weather for an impossible conversation. Trevor arrived exactly at 10, because of course he did. He had always been punctual. He got his own coffee and sat across from her, his expression guarded. For a long moment neither of them spoke. You look good, Trevor finally said, his voice carefully neutral. Different but good. So do you, though I guess Billionaire CEO suits you. You did not know when you came to the gala. No, I do not exactly keep up with business news. He nodded slowly, his fingers drumming on the coffee cup. Tell me about your life. What have you been doing for 15 years? Zara swallowed hard. This was it, the moment of truth. But she found herself hesitating, wanting to understand him first. Can I ask you something first? How did you do it? Build Forge Industries? Trevor leaned back, studying her. Why does it matter? Because I need to understand who you became. He considered this, then sighed. After you left, I was a mess for a while. Could not focus on anything. But eventually the pain turned into fuel. I threw myself into work, started developing sustainable manufacturing processes. Got some patents, some investors, built it from there. Forge Industries started in a garage with 2 employees. Now we have over 10,000 people in 15 countries. That is incredible, Trevor. It is empty, he said quietly. All of it. The money, the success, the recognition. I built an empire, Zara, but I did it to fill a hole you left. The words hit her like a physical blow. Trevor, do not say that. Why not? It is true, I never married, never had a serious relationship that lasted more than a few months. Do you know why? He leaned forward, his eyes intense. Because no one was you. No one made me feel the way you did that summer. So tell me now, after all these years, why did you leave? Zara's hands shook as she wrapped them around her coffee cup. Because I was pregnant. The words fell into the space between them like stones into still water. Trevor's face went completely blank, all color draining away. What? I found out at the end of August, right before I left. I was pregnant and I was terrified and I did not know what to do. Trevor stood abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. Other patrons looked over, but he did not seem to notice. You were pregnant and you did not tell me. I was 22 and scared out of my mind. You had your whole life planned out, all these dreams and ambitions. I could not trap you like that. Trap me. His voice rose, anger bleeding through. Zara, I loved you. I would have done anything for you. We could have figured it out together. I know that now. But back then, all I could think about was my own father leaving, my mother sacrificing everything, the way she resented me my whole childhood. I did not want that for you, for us, for the baby. Trevor paced to the window, his back to her, his shoulders rigid with tension. When he spoke again, his voice was strained. Past tense. You said was pregnant. What happened? This was the hardest part, the part that changed everything. Zara stood, walking toward him but keeping her distance. I had the baby, Trevor, a daughter. Her name is Lily. She is 13 years old. The silence that followed was deafening. Trevor turned slowly, his face a mask of emotion she could not read. I have a daughter. Yes. For 13 years I have had a daughter and you never told me. Yes. Where is she? What is she like? Does she know about me? The questions came rapid fire, and Zara could see him struggling to process, to understand. She is at school right now. She is smart and funny and kind. She loves science and swimming and terrible pop music. And no, she does not know about you. I told her that her father was someone I dated briefly who was not ready to be a parent. You lied to her. I lied to everyone, including myself. I convinced myself I was doing the right thing, that I was protecting everyone. But I was wrong, Trevor. I was so wrong, and I am sorrier than you can possibly imagine. Trevor walked back to the table and sat down heavily, his head in his hands. Zara watched him, her heart breaking all over again. She had done this. She had caused this pain. I do not know what to say, he finally whispered. I do not know what to feel. I am so angry I can barely think straight, but I also have a daughter. I have a daughter. Zara sat down across from him. I am not asking for anything. I am not expecting anything. I just needed you to know the truth. Not expecting anything. He looked up, his eyes red. Zara, you just told me I have a 13-year-old daughter. Everything has changed. I understand this is overwhelming. Overwhelming does not begin to cover it. He took a shaky breath. I want to meet her. I know, and you should. But we need to do this carefully. She's going to have a lot of questions, a lot of feelings. We cannot just drop this on her. So what do you suggest? Zara had been thinking about this all night. Maybe we start slowly. I tell her that I ran into you, that we used to date, that you would like to get to know her. We do not tell her the whole truth right away. We let her get comfortable with you being around first. Trevor was quiet, considering. That is going to be hard. Meeting my own daughter and pretending I am just some guy. I know, but we have to think about what is best for Lily. Fine. He stood, his jaw tight. But I want to do this soon. I have missed 13 years. I do not want to miss another day. They exchanged phone numbers, something that felt both monumental and absurdly mundane. Trevor left first, and Zara sat alone in the coffee shop, wondering how her life had turned upside down in less than 24 hours. That afternoon, Zara picked Lily up from school and took her to their favorite pizza place, a small restaurant near their apartment with checkered tablecloths and the best garlic knots in Boston. So I have something to tell you, Zara said once they had ordered. Something important. Lily looked up from her phone, immediately alert. Are you sick? Are we moving? Did I do something wrong? No, nothing like that. Do you remember I told you I saw someone I used to know at the party, the good someone you hurt? Yes. His name is Trevor, and we dated the summer before you were born. We were very close, but I made some bad choices and we lost touch. Seeing him again made me realize how much I regret that. Lily studied her with those two perceptive eyes. Okay, so what does that mean? It means I would like to reconnect with him, and if that goes well, I would like you to meet him. Would you be okay with that, I guess? Is he like your boyfriend now? No, Zara said quickly, even as her heart clenched at the thought. We are just old friends trying to figure out if we can be in each other's lives again. Lily shrugged, returning to her phone. Fine with me, just do not get all weird about it. If only it were that simple. Over the next week, Zara and Trevor met 3 more times. Short meetings, an hour here and there, slowly rebuilding the connection that had been severed so violently. It was strange and painful and occasionally wonderful. They talked about safe things at first, their jobs, their lives, carefully avoiding the landmine of the past. But slowly, they started to share more. Trevor told her about the early years of Forge Industries, the failures and near bankruptcies, the moment when everything clicked and the business exploded. Zara told him about raising Lily alone, the struggles and small triumphs, going back to school, building her career in nonprofit work. I want to meet her, Trevor said during their 4th meeting, over lunch at a quiet restaurant. I know we said we would take it slow, but Zara, I am going crazy. I keep thinking about all the birthdays I missed, all the moments I can never get back. I know, I think about that too, all the time. So let me meet her, please, Zara nodded. Okay, this weekend. We could go to the aquarium. Lily loves the aquarium. The aquarium sounds perfect. Saturday arrived cold and clear. Zara was a nervous wreck, changing clothes 3 times before settling on jeans and a sweater. Lily, blessedly, was oblivious to her mother's anxiety, excited about the outing. So this is the guy you used to date? Lily asked on the drive over. The one you hurt? Yes, his name is Trevor. Is he nice? Very nice. Is he cute? Because you are acting all weird, which usually means a guy is cute. Lily Abbott, I am not having this conversation with you, her daughter laughed, and Zara felt a rush of love so powerful it hurt. This was her whole world, this funny, brilliant girl, and she was about to introduce her to the father she had never known. Trevor was waiting outside the aquarium, looking nervous himself in jeans and a dark jacket. When Lily spotted him, she leaned over to whisper to Zara. Okay, yeah, he is definitely cute. Good job, Mom. Lily. But she was already climbing out of the car, leaving Zara to follow. Trevor's face when he saw Lily for the first time was something Zara would never forget. She saw recognition in his eyes, the way he took in every detail. Her dark hair, her features that were a mix of both parents, her lanky teenager frame. His hands clenched at his sides like he wanted to reach out but did not know if he was allowed. Hi, Lily said, with the easy confidence of someone who had no idea how significant this moment was. I am Lily. You are the guy who my mom used to date. I am, Trevor managed, his voice thick. It is really nice to meet you, Lily. Your mom has told me a lot about you. All good things, I hope. All very good things. They went inside, and the initial awkwardness began to fade as they wandered through the exhibits. Trevor was good with Lily, asking her questions about school and her interests, listening intently to her enthusiastic explanations about marine biology. Zara watched them together, her heart in her throat, seeing the resemblance in their mannerisms, the way they both tilted their heads when they were thinking. Did you know that octopuses have 3 hearts? Lily asked Trevor as they stood in front of the giant Pacific octopus tank. I did not. That is amazing. And they are super smart. They can solve puzzles and escape from tanks and even recognize individual people. Sounds like they are almost as smart as you, Trevor said with a smile, and Lily beamed. They had lunch at the aquarium cafe, sitting at a small table overlooking the harbor. Lily was telling a story about her science class when she suddenly stopped and looked between Zara and Trevor with a frown. This is weird, she announced. What is? Zara asked, her stomach dropping. The way you two keep looking at each other. It is not just old friends' looks. It is like more than that. Trevor glanced at Zara, and she saw the question in his eyes. How much did she want to say? Trevor and I were very close, Zara said carefully. It was a long time ago, but those feelings do not just disappear completely. So, are you getting back together? We are just getting to know each other again, sweetheart. Lily shrugged, returning to her food. Well, I like him. He is cool. I like you too, Trevor said quietly, and there was so much emotion in those simple words that Zara had to look away. After the aquarium, they walked along the waterfront despite the cold. Lily ran ahead, taking pictures with her phone, giving them a moment of relative privacy. She is incredible, Trevor said, his voice rough. Zara, she is absolutely incredible, I know. I can see you in her, the way she talks with her hands, the way she thinks, but I can see other things too, things that are maybe me. She has your curiosity. Your way of focusing intensely on something that interests you. When are we going to tell her? The question hung in the cold air. Zara pulled her coat tighter. I do not know. Soon. But I want her to know you first. I want her to like you for who you are before we complicate everything. It is already complicated. I know. But I am trying to do this right. I have made so many mistakes already. Trevor stopped walking, turning to face her. Zara, I am not going to lie. I am still angry about what happened, about the time I lost. But I am also grateful that you told me now. That you are giving me this chance. You deserve so much more than a chance. You deserve to know your daughter. Then let me, really let me, not just supervised visits and careful conversations. I want to be part of her life, part of both your lives. The words sent a thrill through Zara that she tried to suppress. This was about Lily, not about the feelings that were clearly still there between them. One step at a time. But she knew, watching him with their daughter, that one step at a time was going to lead somewhere inevitable. Over the next few weeks, Trevor became a regular presence in their lives. He came to Lily's science fair, where she won second place with a project on ocean acidification. He took them to dinner at nice restaurants, and Lily teased him about his billionaire lifestyle, which he handled with good humor. He was patient and kind and clearly trying hard not to overstep, but Zara could see the longing in his eyes every time he looked at Lily. It was Maya who finally confronted Zara about what was happening. So Trevor Finch, Billionaire CEO, is your ex-boyfriend, Maya said over drinks one Friday night while Lily was at a sleepover. The one you never talk about, the reason you have never dated anyone seriously. Yes. And he is suddenly in your life again, spending all his free time with you and Lily. Yes. And you are going to sit there and tell me there is nothing going on, we are just friends, Maya laughed. Zara, I have seen the way he looks at you. And more importantly, I have seen the way you look at him. Whatever you two had 15 years ago, it is still there. It is complicated. Life is complicated. But you are both single adults who clearly still have feelings for each other. What is the problem? Zara stared into her wine glass. I heard him, Maya. I made choices that cost him 13 years with his daughter. How do you come back from that? By being honest. By letting yourself be happy. Does he know Lily is his? The question made Zara freeze. What? Come on, Zara, I am not stupid. The timing, the way you left, the fact that you never told anyone who Lily's father was. It is Trevor, is it not? Tears filled Zara's eyes. She had held this secret for so long, and suddenly the weight of it was crushing. Yes, but Lily does not know yet. He only found out a few weeks ago. Oh, honey. Maya pulled her into a hug. That is huge. How is he handling it? Better than I deserve. But Maya, what if I ruined everything? What if we tell Lily and she hates me for lying? What if Trevor can never really forgive me? Then you deal with it. But you cannot keep hiding forever. That girl deserves to know her father, and you deserve to be happy. Stop punishing yourself. That night, Zara lay in bed thinking about Maya's words. She had been punishing herself, holding herself back from happiness because she did not think she deserved it. But that was not fair to Lily or to Trevor. It was time to be brave. The next morning she called Trevor. We need to tell her, soon, it is time. There was a pause then. Are you sure? No, but it is the right thing to do. They planned it for the following Saturday. Trevor would come over for dinner, something that had become routine, and afterward they would sit Lily down and tell her the truth. Zara was a wreck all week. She barely slept, could not concentrate on work, snapped at everyone around her. Lily noticed, of course, asking multiple times if something was wrong. Zara put her off with vague excuses about stress at work, but she could tell her daughter did not believe her. Saturday arrived too quickly. Zara made lasagna, Lily's favorite, and set the table with care. Lily helped, chattering about school and her friends, oblivious to the bomb about to drop into her life. Trevor arrived at 6, carrying flowers for Zara, and a book about marine biology for Lily, who lit up with excitement. "This is the one I have been wanting. How did you know?" "Your mom mentioned it," Trevor said, and the casual intimacy of the statement made Zara's heart skip. Dinner was pleasant, full of easy conversation and laughter. But Zara could barely eat, her stomach churning with anxiety. Trevor kept catching her eye, silently asking if she was okay. She nodded, but they both knew she was lying. After they cleaned up, Zara suggested they sit in the living room. Lily curled up in the armchair with her new book, while Zara and Trevor took the couch. "Lily, we need to talk to you about something important," Zara began, her voice shaking slightly. Lily looked up, immediately wary. "That sounds serious." "It is. It is about Trevor and about me and about you." "Okay, now you are scaring me." Trevor leaned forward, his elbows on his knees. "Lily, your mom and I have not been completely honest with you. About our relationship, about the past." Lily's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" Zara took a deep breath. "That summer before you were born, when Trevor and I were together, we were not just dating. We were in love. We were planning a future together, and then I found out I was pregnant with you." The words hung in the air. Lily's face went pale, then red, confusion and realization warring in her expression. "Wait, are you saying what I think you are saying?" "Trevor is your father," Zara said softly. "He did not know until a few weeks ago. I never told him. I left and cut off all contact, and I did not give him the choice to be part of your life. That was my decision, and it was wrong." Lily stood abruptly, the book falling to the floor. "You lied to me. My whole life you lied to me. I know. I am so sorry. You told me my father did not want me. You said he was not ready to be a parent, but he never even knew I existed." Her voice rose, tears streaming down her face. "How could you do that?" Trevor stood too, his hands out in a calming gesture. "Lily, please do not be angry at your mom. She was young and scared, and she thought she was doing the right thing." "No." Lily turned on him, her face twisted with anger and pain. "You do not get to defend her. She kept you from me. She kept me from you. You know how many times I wondered about you. How many times I imagined what you were like, why you did not want me. And this whole time you did not even know." She ran to her room, slamming the door. Zara sat frozen, tears streaming down her face. Trevor sat back down, pulling her into his arms. "She hates me," Zara whispered. "She is hurt and angry, but she does not hate you. Give her time." But as the hours passed and Lily refused to come out of her room, refused to talk to either of them, Zara wondered if she had finally broken the one relationship that mattered most. Trevor stayed the night, sleeping on the couch, both of them afraid to leave Lily alone with her pain. In the morning, Zara knocked on her daughter's door. "Go away." "Lily, please, we need to talk about this." "I do not want to talk to you." "Then just listen." Zara sat with her back against the door, talking to the wood. "I made a terrible mistake. I was 22 and pregnant and terrified, and I could not see past my own fear. I thought I was protecting Trevor from a responsibility he did not ask for. I thought I was protecting you from having a father who might resent you, but I was really just protecting myself from being hurt." There was no response from inside the room. "My own father left when I was little. He walked away and never looked back, and my mom struggled to raise me alone. She loved me, but she also resented me because I represented the life she could not have. I did not want that for you or Trevor, so I made the choice to leave to keep you separate from him, and I have regretted it every single day since. Still nothing. Trevor is a good man, Lily. The best man I have ever known. He would have been an amazing father to you from the start if I had given him the chance. I stole that from both of you, and I will never forgive myself for it. But please, please do not let my mistakes ruin the chance for you to know him now. He has waited his whole life for you, even if he did not know it." The door opened suddenly, and Lily stood there, her eyes red and swollen. "Did you ever love him? Or was that a lie too?" "I loved him more than anything. I still love him." "Then why did you leave?" "Because I was stupid and scared and convinced I was doing the right thing. There is no good reason, Lily. I was wrong." Lily stared at her for a long moment, then walked past her to the living room where Trevor was standing awkwardly by the window. He turned when he heard her, his expression cautious. "So you are my dad," Lily said, her voice flat. "Yes. And you really did not know about me." "I swear I did not. If I had known, nothing could have kept me away." Lily crossed her arms, evaluating him. "Prove it." "What?" "Prove that you want to be my dad. Not just because you found out I exist, but because you actually want to know me." Trevor walked toward her slowly. "Lily, I know I have missed a lot. I missed your birth, your first steps, your first words. I missed 13 years of your life, and I hate that more than you can imagine. But I am here now, and I am not going anywhere. Ever. You can test me, push me away, make this as hard as you want. I will still be here. Because you are my daughter and I love you." Lily's face crumpled and she started crying again. Trevor pulled her into his arms and she let him, sobbing into his chest. Zara watched them, her own tears falling freely, and felt something shift inside her. It was not resolution, not yet, but it was a beginning. The weeks that followed were difficult. Lily was angry, especially at Zara, and the easy relationship they had always shared became strained and complicated. But she was also curious about Trevor, asking him questions about his life, his work, his family. He answered everything with patience and honesty, slowly building a foundation of trust. Trevor got a lawyer to help with the legal aspects of establishing paternity, not because he did not trust Zara, but because he wanted everything official and clear. They worked out custody arrangements, though neither of them loved that term. Trevor wanted to be involved in every aspect of Lily's life, and Zara wanted him to have that chance, but there was still the question of what they were to each other. Trevor and Zara, not as parents but as two people who had loved each other once and might still. They avoided the topic carefully, focusing on Lily, but the tension was always there, simmering beneath every conversation. It was Lily who finally forced the issue. "So are you two going to date or what?" she asked one evening when Trevor had come over for dinner. Both adults froze. "What are you talking about?" Zara managed. Lily rolled her eyes. "Please. I am 13, not blind. You are both clearly still into each other." "It is actually kind of gross how obvious it is." "Lily." "What? It is true. And honestly, if you guys like each other, why not? It would be weird if my dad was dating some random woman. At least this way I already know you." Trevor looked at Zara, a question in his eyes. She felt her face heat up. "It is not that simple. Why not? You love him, he loves you. Seems pretty simple to me." After Lily went to bed, Trevor and Zara sat in the living room, the question hanging between them. "She is not wrong," Trevor finally said, "about how I feel." Zara's heart raced. "Trevor, we cannot do this just because Lily thinks it is a good idea. That is not why I want to do this." He moved closer, taking her hand. "Zara, I have spent 15 years trying to get over you, dating other women, building my career, telling myself that what we had was just a summer romance. But seeing you again, being around you, I know the truth. I never stopped loving you, not for a single day." "I never stopped loving you either," she whispered. "But I hurt you so badly. How can we move past that?" "I will not lie and say it does not still hurt. The time I lost with Lily, the years we could have had together, that is something I grieve. But I also understand why you did what you did. You were scared and young and traumatized by your own childhood. You made a mistake, but you are trying to make it right. That means something." "So what are you saying?" "I am saying I want to try. Not just for Lily, but for us. I want to see if we can have what we were supposed to have 15 years ago." Zara looked at their joined hands, then up at his face and saw nothing but sincerity and hope. "I want that too. God, I want that so much, but can we take it slow? There is so much to work through." "As slow as you need," Trevor promised. He kissed her then, soft and tentative, and it felt like coming home. The relationship developed gradually, carefully. They went on actual dates, just the two of them, remembering how to be a couple. They talked about the past honestly, working through the hurt and resentment. Trevor met with a therapist to process his feelings about missing Lily's early years, and Zara joined him for some sessions to talk through their issues together. Lily watched it all with the satisfied air of someone who had made a good match. She warmed to Trevor more each day, and he was devoted to her in a way that made Zara's heart swell. He came to all her school events, helped with homework, took her to movies and museums. He was making up for lost time, and Lily basked in the attention. 6 months after the truth came out, Trevor invited them to his house for the first time. Zara had known he was wealthy, but seeing his home, a beautiful modern mansion overlooking the ocean, really drove it home. "This is insane," Lily breathed, running through the rooms. "Dad, you live here alone." "I do. But I have been thinking maybe that should change." He looked at Zara meaningfully. "Trevor," she warned, but she was smiling. He took her hand, leading her out to the deck that overlooked the water. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. "I know we said slow," Trevor began, "but I need to tell you something. I bought this house 5 years ago and it always felt too big, too empty. I thought maybe I was just not meant to have a family. But now, with you and Lily in my life, I finally understand what was missing. It was you. It has always been you." "Trevor, what are you saying?" He pulled out a small velvet box, and Zara's breath caught. "I am saying that I do not want slow anymore. I have lost 15 years already. I want to make this official. I want to marry you, have you and Lily move in here, build the life we should have had. I want everything. We have only been officially dating for 6 months. We have known each other for 15 years. We have a daughter together. Zara, I have been in love with you since I was 23 years old. I do not need more time to know you are it for me." Zara looked at the ring, then at his face, then back at the house where their daughter was exploring her potential new home. Everything had been so complicated, so painful. But standing here with Trevor, watching the sunset over the ocean, it suddenly felt simple. "Yes," she said. "Yes, I will marry you." Trevor's face lit up, and he slipped the ring onto her finger before kissing her thoroughly. When they broke apart, Lily was standing in the doorway, grinning. "Finally. I thought you would never ask her, Dad. You knew about this?" Zara asked. "He asked my permission last week. Obviously, I said yes. This place has a pool." They laughed, the three of them, and Zara felt something she had not felt in 15 years, complete happiness. The wedding was small and intimate, held on the beach at sunset 6 months later. Maya was the maid of honor, crying through the entire ceremony. Lily served as a bridesmaid and gave a speech at the reception about how her parents were proof that true love could survive anything, even massive screw-ups and 15 years apart. Everyone laughed and cried, and Zara felt overwhelmed with gratitude. Trevor's vows made her sob. "Zara, you are the love of my life. You always have been, even when I did not know where you were, even when I thought I had lost you forever. You gave me the greatest gift in Lily, and now you are giving me the gift of forever. I promise to love you, to support you, to be the partner you deserve. And I promise that we will never lose each other again." Her own vows were simpler. "Trevor, I made a lot of mistakes, but loving you was never one of them. You are the kindest, most incredible man I know, and I do not deserve you, but I am going to spend the rest of my life trying to." Thank you for forgiving me, for giving us another chance, for loving our daughter so completely. You are everything I ever wanted, and I love you more than words can say." They moved into Trevor's house, which quickly became a home. Lily decorated her room with posters and fairy lights, and started referring to Trevor as Dad without hesitation. Zara transitioned to working part-time for her nonprofit, with Trevor's financial support allowing the organization to expand its services significantly. They established a foundation together, focusing on supporting single mothers in honor of what Zara had gone through. Life was not perfect. There were still hard conversations about the past, still moments when the lost years weighed heavy. But they faced it together, with honesty and love and a commitment to never let secrets come between them again. On Lily's 14th birthday, Trevor surprised her with a boat. Not a yacht, but a nice sailing vessel that he promised to teach her to use. They spent that summer learning to sail together, the three of them, and Zara thought often of that other summer so many years ago. The one that had started everything. One evening, as they sat on the deck watching the sunset, Lily between them, Trevor took Zara's hand. "What are you thinking about?" he asked softly. "That summer, when we met. How young we were, how we thought we had all the time in the world. We did not know anything back then. No, but we knew the important thing, that we loved each other." Trevor kissed her temple. "And we still do." Lily made a gagging noise. "You two are so cheesy." "You love it," Zara teased, maybe a little. 2 years later, Zara found out she was pregnant again. She told Trevor first, terrified of his reaction given their history. But he swept her into his arms, spinning her around, laughing and crying at the same time. "We get to do it right this time," he said, his hands on her stomach. "Together from the beginning." Lily was thrilled at the news, already planning how she would be the best big sister ever. She helped them set up the nursery, debating names and colors, her excitement infectious. Thomas Trevor Finch was born on a sunny morning in May, with his father in the delivery room and his big sister waiting anxiously outside. He was perfect, with Trevor's dark hair and Zara's eyes, and holding him, Zara felt the circle finally complete. Lily held her baby brother with careful reverence. "He is so tiny." "You were this tiny once," Trevor said, wrapping his arm around his daughter. "I wish you could have been there," Lily said quietly, and it was the first time she had expressed that particular pain so directly. "Me too, sweetheart, me too, but I am here now, for him and for you, always." As the years passed, they built the life they had dreamed of that summer long ago. Trevor's business continued to thrive, but he made sure to prioritize family, cutting back on travel, delegating more. Zara's foundation grew, helping thousands of women and children, her own experience fueling her passion for the work. Lily graduated high school with honors, got accepted to MIT for marine biology. The day they dropped her off at college, Trevor cried harder than Zara had ever seen. "She is going to be amazing," Zara assured him, holding their now 6-year-old son's hand. "I know, but she was my baby. Even if I only got 13 years, she was my first baby. And she loves you so much, we both do." That night in their hotel room while Thomas slept in the adjoining room, Trevor pulled Zara close. "Do you ever regret it, how everything happened?" "I regret the time we lost. The years I kept her from you. But I cannot regret the path that led us here. We have a beautiful family, a life full of love. Maybe it happened the hard way, but we made it." "We made it," he agreed, kissing her softly. When Lily graduated from MIT 4 years later, she gave another speech, this one about resilience and second chances and families that were worth fighting for. Zara and Trevor sat in the audience, Thomas between them, and felt nothing but pride. Lily went on to work in marine conservation. eventually joining her parents' foundation to develop programs for environmental education. She brought home a boyfriend when she was 26, a nice guy who worked in renewable energy, and Trevor took his role as protective father very seriously, much to everyone's amusement. Thomas grew into a thoughtful, creative kid who loved art and music, completely different from his older sister but adored by her nonetheless. He never knew a time when his parents were not together, when his family was not whole, and Zara was grateful for that innocence. On their 15th wedding anniversary, Trevor rented out the entire beach where they had first met. They renewed their vows with their children and friends surrounding them, and Zara thought about the girl she had been that summer, so young and scared and sure she was doing the right thing. If she could go back, she would do it differently. She would tell Trevor about the pregnancy, trust him to be the man she knew he was. She would save them all years of pain and separation, but she could not go back. All she could do was move forward, grateful for every day, every moment, every chance they had been given to make it right. "I love you," Trevor whispered as they danced under the stars, the same ocean that had witnessed their first kiss now witnessing their renewal. "I love you too." For 15 years of marriage and 15 years before that, and for all the years to come. "To forever," he said, and kissed her as the waves crashed on the shore. And finally, after all the years of pain and separation, after the mistakes and reconciliation, after building a life from the broken pieces of their past, Zara allowed herself to believe in forever. They had started with one perfect summer. They had survived 15 years apart. And now, they had the rest of their lives together, a family that had fought its way back to wholeness, a love that had proven strong enough to weather anything. Looking around at her husband, her children, her life built on second chances and hard-won forgiveness, Zara knew she was exactly where she was meant to be. It was not the fairy tale she had imagined at 22. It was better. Because it was real, hard-earned, and absolutely worth every painful step it took to get there. Their story had not ended that summer 15 years ago. It had only been beginning. And now, watching the sunset with Trevor's arm around her, their children laughing nearby, Zara understood that some love stories were worth waiting for, worth fighting for, worth believing in even when everything seemed lost. Theirs was one of those stories, and it was far from over.